Hey everybody, I'm Holly Burns, if you don't know me, from Holly Burns Psychic, and I am an intuitive consultant for all things you need, including but not limited to personal relationships, business dealings, health and wellness, and everything in between. I'm also a psychic medium, which means that I can speak with any souls that do or don't have bodies. So I want to tell you about something that happened to me a couple weeks ago with some souls that I don't know, they're new to me. So I met some new souls, and it's a really cool experience, and we'll see what comes of this in the future. So I wanted to share it with you guys. So I was sleeping a couple weeks ago, and I woke up. Well, I didn't wake up. I became aware that I was doing something in my sleep, and I was talking back and forth, trying to get some. I was like pushing hard to get some information from somebody else, talking back and forth, like, just tell me, or just give me this information. Or I don't remember what we were doing, but we were it was kind of a really intense discussion going on. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I was looking at something like this. I was looking at five beings or five men, and they were older. They had beards and white hair, like these guys. They all had red robes on, not like the guy on the right that doesn't have a red robe on. And they had white underneath the red robe. So they had like a white shirt on and then red robe that went down. And they were all adorned differently, but very ornately, like these guys. They had very ornate necklaces on with cool emblems, just like these guys here. And like they had more ornate robes, like these guys with the embroidery and all the different things you see here with these guys. And every single one of their robes was different, like these guys, except for they went to the ground and they were all red. I don't know how the AI can't understand that I said they all had red robes on, but it didn't. So I made some tried to get some AI renderings of what I saw made for you guys, but this is kind of taking in pieces of everything here. So yeah, all the different types and styles of robes that these guys had, but they went to the floor. They weren't silvery shimmery. They were like a deep dark crimson velvet. But AI doesn't know the word velvet apparently. So behind them was super bright light, like sunlight, bright light, brightest light I've ever seen. But I've been with beings a few times in my sleep that had light coming from behind them. So this is not the first time this has happened to me. But okay, so these guys had the super bright light, but it wasn't coming down from above them. It was coming from behind them, directly shining at them. And their bodies were blocking out the light so that I could see them and not be blinded by the light. And the middle person was standing slightly forward compared to everybody else. And the middle person said, "We are the beings of light." I'm like, okay, that is freaking cool. And then bam, I woke up. I had no time to ask them any follow-up questions, nothing. And it was so cool. They were so beautiful. I wish I could have looked at them longer. It was so cool. So I woke up and I was like, wow, like who was those guys? And their energy was completely different from the elders and completely different from any groups that I've worked with before. But I have been working with been contacted habitually by a group of beings for the last maybe, I don't know, 4 years maybe, that from time to time will tell me, they're coming to meet with me, and like not to freak out. So I have assumed that they're going to be beings that are not from Earth, that look a little different from us and have very different energy, and that we're supposed to kind of get ready, which I feel is going to happen all over the Earth on a regular basis very soon. Like we're in the time of Great Awakening, so this is going to be more commonplace. But many people on the Earth do work with beings from other worlds all the time right now. But mine just happened to be non-physically based for me still. I have not had a physical non-Earth being come knocking on my door yet. But so they've been kind of like preparing me for that. So, okay, after I talked to these guys, I just asked them, who were you? And this is what they said. They gave me these cards to start out with who they were, which I thought was, oh no, this is me first. They were saying that I know them, like, but I have, when we come down to earth, we have amnesia, so we don't remember everything. So like my higher self knows who they are. So they're like, well, we're working with you. We came because of you. I'm like, okay. And they're saying, here's them with light behind him, and he's standing in, like the front guy, the middle guy with the light behind him, because this card has light behind the guy, backlighting him, and then another guy in a red robe. I'm like, oh, cool. Out of my deck of cards, this is what they grab. And then a guy with a white shirt and a red robe. So I'm like, oh my god, that's pretty cool, right? They gave me these three cards, and me on the end, and so they said, us and you. So like they know who I am. I don't know who I am. They know who I am more than I know who I am. They're like, well, we know you. I'm like, you do? Okay. And they said they were coming to aid us. That's them coming to aid us. And they were showing me like their planet. Like their planet has a lot of beautiful water. Like it's kind of this is kind of the essence of their planet that they're from, and see the bright light in the back as well. And then they were saying they were coming to our aid. So this is the Page of Wands. He's going to go tell the king and queen some information that's going to make them go, and kind of like raise your adrenaline. Like, really, that's interesting news to hear, right? So they're like, we're off to go. We have to go and aid these people that are calling us. And they said to me, well, you called us, so we came. And this is their leader saying, I need, a group of people to go and aid these people on earth that are calling us for assistance. So like humanity is calling, and then this is where they're from, many planets away. So here's our galaxy, here's the sun, here's the planets, and they're like, we're from a galaxy, from a planet far away. And so that's all I know about them so far, but that their leader told them, to go off and help us. So they're saying like there's like a code, on different planets, that if you don't ask for help, they can't just show up and help us. There's an unwritten code in the universe that you can't screw up other people's evolution by just doing it for them. So they can't just show up here and just be like, hey, here's the answers to everything, you guys, because that would really screw us up. So, but they're saying since we called, so that's our collective consciousness. The collective consciousness of the world is calling for change and changes, and so they have come to our aid. So that's all I know so far. I look forward to meeting with them again, and hopefully they'll show up again and tell me some more stuff. I'll let you guys know if they do. In the meantime, you can find me here on YouTube. If you want to know more about what's going on with them later, please remember to hit the subscribe button, and then you'll get the notices when I do some new stuff on here. Also, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook under Holly Byrne Psychic, and my website, hollybyrnepsychic.com. All right, talk to you guys again soon.